What's up, beautiful world? This is rSlashTNA, and welcome to another episode of rSlashMalicious Compliance. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell anytime during this video. If this is your first time on this channel, we welcome you. If this is not your first time, welcome back. Enjoy the stories of rSlashMalicious Compliance. Our first story is, I need your long essay on a single page. Yes, ma'am. When I was a college sophomore, we had this professor, Mrs. Wang, in religious studies who would act like her subject should be our top priority. Although we came from different majors, religion studies is just a filler subject needed for students in this Catholic college. She wanted us to come every meeting because attendance is a part of her grade, which was fine by me, but she would give us too many research assignments for so little time. This class is a Tuesday and Thursday one. So if she gives us 3 research assignments on Tuesday, the outputs are expected to be submitted on Thursday same week. This started a problem on all of us since we also have a lot of things to do for major subjects. But it would be a hassle to fail a subject like this. Retaking a major subject is acceptable. Retaking a filler subject is annoying. One Tuesday, she gave us an assignment, a 4,000 word essay to be submitted on Thursday. 4,000 is a lot for us given the time frame. And that week was the week before midterms, so it gave us a hard time. But the catch, she wanted it on a single sheet of short bond paper, which is literally impossible to fit the 4,000 word essay. A classmate of mine, Nathan, asked Mrs. Wang about the single page thing. Nathan asked if we could submit multiple pages of the essay to accommodate the 4,000 word essay she was asking us. You are all stubborn. 4,000 word essay in a single page, that simple. Mrs. Wang was already in her early 60s at that time, so I don't think she had an idea of what a compressed 4,000 word in a single page would look like when printed. In every subject, we have a Facebook group for announcements, discussions between classmates, and note sharing. In some subjects, the teacher was usually the admin of the group, but since Mrs. Wang is not too fond of Facebook, one of our classmates volunteered to create a group for us. The night before the submission, we were having a problem with our outputs. Some classmates who were done with the essay tried to print their outputs. The font was too small, even though the margin was already adjusted. Here comes the malicious compliance. Nathan, who was still a little pissed about the whole situation, posted a status on our group. Let's give her what she wants, 4,000 words in a single page. The comments were blowing up. Some commented they were thinking of the same, and others were laughing. That time, the ha 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 reaction button wasn't still a thing, so literal ha 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 were filling up the comments. The next day, we were all excited about our plan. One by one, we placed our papers on her table. As she was scanning on some papers, she went ballistic. Why are the words in these too small? Nathan raised his hand. Ma'am, you were clear about a 4,000 word essay on a single page. That's what it looks like. Mrs. Wang couldn't contain her anger. She realized she was wrong. Instead of apologizing, she just told us to reprint our outputs and submit them on Tuesday next week. We all agreed. Edit. To those who are curious about Mrs. Wang, here's a summary. Aside from giving multiple repetitive assignments every single week, Mrs. Wang was not the most pleasant professor. Her traditional outlook in life and style of teaching rubbed us off. There was one time she saw my classmate who dyed her hair red, not totally red, but a natural looking red, and commented that Satan likes to prey on people who color their hair. Another time, she claimed that some religions are bogus and cults and they prey on the devil. And although she didn't really say it, I think she didn't like non-Catholics. She would emphasize on doing the sign of the cross every time because it wards off the devil around. My favorite line of hers was when she was late during one of our sessions. Instead of apologizing, she just said, better be late than never. But she would get annoyed if we were late. So yeah, it felt like a celebration outsmarting her one time. And the next r/malicious compliance story is, you want to know everything? My grandmother, Oma, is a woman you do not want to cross and perform one of the best MC instances in my family. My Opa, her husband, worked for a well-known U.S. telephone company that pretty much had a monopoly 50 years ago, and Oma was a stay-at-home wife with young kids. Early in their marriage, Opa would call home several times a day to check up on her. He came from an Italian-American family and his mother was very controlling. If he called and she was out to market, he'd keep calling every break until she picked up. He claimed he just wanted to make sure she was okay. This went on for weeks until Oma had enough. So one day, she called his office before he could take a break, and his coworker picked up. Oma: "Is Opa available?" Coworker: "No. Would you like me to get him?" Oma: "No, but please share this message with him. Let him know that I'm going to the grocery store for an hour, so he needn't call. Then I will fix lunch for myself and the kids. I'll need to give X a bath after that because she's a messy eater. I've been constipated lately, so around 2 o'clock I plan on sitting on the pot for a while and taking an enema. So if I don't answer the phone, that's why. Have him call if he really needs anything." Apparently, he came home that evening red-faced and never called home to check up on her again. And the next r/malicious compliance story is, "You only get paid for 37.5 hours work. Okay, I'll only stay for that long." So I worked as an executive pastry chef for a medium-sized hotel here in England where we catered mainly to weddings at weekends, but had a successful restaurant that ran alongside it doing 2/3 rosette quality food, about 60 covers a night. Well, as anybody who has worked in catering may know, it's not uncommon to work a tremendous amount of hours in a week on a consistent basis. Here I was working about 75 to 80-ish hours a week, 5 days of about 14 to 15 hours, then an extra 5 to 6 or so on my day off. Now, it's important to know that we did not get paid for overtime here as chefs. You worked all of these hours and you got paid for 37.5 hours. That's 40 hours in work where they took 30 minutes off for 5 days for a lunch break that you never ever had. You do all this and life sucks doing it, but it's a job and it's not easy in catering at the best of times. So the straw that broke the camel's back comes when I get pulled by the finance manager because I left on one of those days after 5 hours. You see, they ran their weeks Thursday to Wednesday for pay and rota, etc. I left on a Thursday to go look after a family member on my day off that I'd already gone into work to help out on. But because it was a Thursday and the start of the week, I hadn't done enough hours in that week to justify leaving early. Me explaining that it was 1, my day off really, 2, I had worked 45 hours between Monday to Wednesday, and 3, I didn't get paid for any extra work. Didn't seem to help. They got annoyed and said, "You get paid for 37.5 hours, no more. If you can't do your work in that time, then that's your problem, but you get paid no extra." Well, that played right into my hands. See, I mentioned above they had weddings at weekends and a busy restaurant that we used to have to service at the same time. If that sounds stupid and almost impossible, that's because it was. Well, the Saturday the following week was a big weekend for them. Bank holiday, big wedding, full restaurant, etc. So me and 2 of the other chefs decided we would work the 37.5 paid hours, then leave. So we worked Thursday and Friday, racking up 31 paid hours there. Then Saturday, we all had the full day shift, breakfast through till close. So we started at 6 a.m. and then 2 p.m. rolls around. Well, that's our 8 paid hours. So we left. We just simply downed tools, got changed, and walked out. Left the kitchen as it was, left the food prep where it was, didn't finish prepping for the night. We did nothing. 5 minutes later, I get a very angry call from the general manager who wanted me back there immediately to work the shift and finish the wedding, etc., or they couldn't do it without me. I politely explained I was told to only work my 37.5 hours or it wasn't my issue, so that's what I did. The night was a disaster by all accounts, and it cost the company thousands in compensation to the wedding party and in lost revenue from the restaurant. Never mind the reputational damage. Didn't go back into work until the following Thursday when my weekly hours started again. I got to keep my job, not easy to replace a pastry chef of my skill who ran the kitchen for them most of the time. One of the others got sacked as he was easily replaced, and the other got his hours cut until he quit. Catering is not a place to work, they're real bees. Ultimately, I left about 6 months later. I got fed up of working for free as it had just gone back to normal. Left being owed about 20,000 pounds of overtime that I never got. Company went bankrupt, dodgily, and destroyed all evidence of hours worked, employment records, etc., so we got screwed. The same guy rebought the hotel under a new name, etc. So it's all very shady. Those were 3 great stories. To hear my best suggested stories, click on the video to the left. To hear more malicious compliance stories, click on the video to the right. Click on that subscribe button right there in the middle and make sure to like and leave your comments below. Thank you for listening. Have yourself a great day.